game, we didn't talk about this much, just quickly. I thought that Houston played a little dirty yesterday.
Yeah, so I was thinking that myself. There's an English announcer, and I can't think of what his name is anymore. He always referred to fouls as cynical fouls.
Cynical foul. Nice.
And I was like, this sounds very English. I completely agree with that concept that you can foul someone or you can cynically foul someone. And I think that Houston was doing that all game. Like it was just kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to catch you, kick your legs out.
Yeah, do it.
Or I'm upset with you, kick your legs out. Yeah, I agree with that completely.
I watching the game on TV last night, there were a couple times where what I felt was my kids are 11 and 7.
Yeah.
11-year-old always tries to get under the 7-year-old skin. And I was watching the game last night, and I was looking at was it Quinto or
Kyoto?
Yeah. He was doing that to Angelo during the first half.
Oh wait, you're thinking of someone else.
Who am I thinking of? It was
yeah. I can't think of his name.
Or whatever his name was. He was doing that to Angelo the whole first half. Yes. Hugging him, just being an asshole.
And what's crazier is it was never called.
No, it was never called. Yeah. There was a couple of replays where they showed another player on Houston's team putting his whole arms around Finley.
Yep.
And I get it. There's going to be physical play on free kicks. There's going to be. But hugging a guy is not legal. I'm sorry. Right. You cannot put your hands on his chest. It just doesn't work that way. So they were doing that a lot in the first half to kind of get under the skin of United, I think. Yeah. And it worked a little bit because there was we talked about on tweets when they were doing that corner kick and they kept stopping it.
Right, yep.
Ref would go over to Angelo and be like, hey, knock it off. And Angelo's like, dude, the guy is like holding me.
Right,
hey, it's like ridiculous. And the guy's like, well, and then you watch replay and he's like totally grabbing onto Angelo. And then Finlay came in and totally just body slammed his guy into the ground. And then the guy who was getting Angelo got into Finley's face. And then there was, kind of a little whatever. But they were doing that last night. And I don't like that. I'm not really a big fan of the whole let's be nasty to get under your skin type of deal. I haven't watched enough Houston games this year to know if they've been doing that all year, and that's why their defense is so good, because they've been able to kind of get under the skin of teams and do that, and that's what they're trying to do. It reminded me a little bit of the bad boys of the Pistons, the bad boys from the late 80s, early 90s, where they got under your skin a lot. And they win games because they got you to play different than what you normally would play. Yeah. They would hit you and they would do all these things to you. So I just want to bring that up. It didn't affect the score at all. I think if we had lost, it would have been a bigger deal. But we won. So
yeah, exactly.
Let's move on to Romario. Because interesting situation with Romario Barra. Earlier this week, we found out that he was being loaned out to Pachuca in Mexico,
which was a shock. By the way.
Big shock. My only thing before all the information came out was, well, they've got too many players in one position, and they've got to get rid of one, and he's not starting, and he's got his lineup, and it just makes sense to let him go. Then we find out that because of immigration laws in the United States, he can't get his girlfriend and his kid in the United States to see them, and he's been feeling a little depressed about that. And his play hasn't been at the par because he's been thinking about that.
Right.
Which makes me think, well, then United did him a favor.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think it's one of those things where, I mean, you can't let those things affect your players.
Yeah.
And soccer is very different. Well, I guess baseball's a little bit similar, where you have a lot of international players, and you deal with these immigration situations all the time. And I can't imagine being in that situation.
No.
So, I completely agree. I mean, they were very obviously doing him a favor to just, move him on.
Let him.
And he could have been a significant player in our group, but
But
it just happens.
Again, in the beginning, I thought we were like, what the hell are they doing?
Right?
Why would they do that? And then when it came out that they had problems, I rethought it and I said, well, good for United.
Yeah.
They made a personal move, not a business move, a personal player type of move.
Right.
And it wasn't about money, and it wasn't about trying to win the championship this year. It was about this guy is feeling bad now, and because he can't get his wife or his girlfriend and kid here, and let's do something for him and let him go there. And the other thing too is he's going to get more minutes there. I'm sure he's going to be starting there. He'll potentially get more money after his loan is up from another team. He'll be able to grow his salary a little bit. So all in all, it hurts us a little bit, but it had to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me was the fact that he's versatile. He's not just a left winger.
Yeah.
He can play up top.
Yeah.
And with how kind of sketchy Abu's play is, I get the sense that, that would have been a nice player to have because I think he's better than Abu. But, it might mean that the FO is confident that Toy is going to work out. I think another thing with Abu is he's 23, he's still youngish, but Jeff Ruder had an article, I think it was on Friday, about how maybe the Hertha game was Abu's opportunity to finally say he's doing here. Something.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it.
No, he didn't.
But at the same time, I disagree with Jeff, which is bold because Jeff knows his stuff. Mm-hmm. I think it's an issue where Abu's been injured for basically a year.
Yeah.
So really, in development age, maybe he's only like 21 and a half.
Yeah.
So he's behind. If he could stay healthy, then maybe there's an opportunity that at 24, 25, he's going to work out.
Well, and we still have Mason Toy, who's playing a lot of minutes with Madison.
Yep.
So there's still that going on. So we have forwards.
Exactly.
We're good to go. And from a team standpoint, like I said, it's a loss for us. But from a personal standpoint, it's a win for everybody, I think.
Right. I think so.
Because he wasn't happy here.
Right.
Because of the situation.
Yeah,
and
I think it's good of him.
You don't want to keep a guy here who's not happy.
Right.
And good for him. Get out of here, go to Mexico, see your girlfriend, see your kid, enjoy a great career.
Right.
And maybe in 5 years you come back. I don't know.
Well, but, and that should be pointed out. It's a 13-month loan. So maybe come next summer.
Sure.
It's a different situation where he can get his girlfriend or maybe at that point wife. I don't know what happens. Yep. But he can get them here and everything will work out. It's
goodwill for him. It reminds me of there's a player who plays for the A's right now. His name's Piscotti, outfielder. And the Cardinals had him. And I think his mom had cancer and he lived out west. And his kids, and his kids put a thing into the Cardinals said, "Please trade my dad to the A's. His mom is going through cancer." The Cardinals did it. It wasn't a baseball move; it was a personal move.
Right.
Biscotti is an above-average player. He's not a bench guy. He's an above-average player. The Cardinals could have said, "Hey, we don't give a shit. This is baseball. We're doing it." But they did it for his mom. I think it was mine. It might have been somebody else. But the key is they did it as a personal move.
Right.
And that's what United did. with Romario.
Exactly.
They could have kept him here.
Yeah.
They could have been assholes about it.
Yep.
We've seen that in sports before.
Exactly.
Where guys want to get traded because of certain situations, and they say, "Oh, nope, you're ours. Sorry."
Right.
So it's goodwill, and I would hope that if his loan is out and he goes somewhere else, maybe down the road he comes back,
Right.
and says, "Hey, you guys treated me great. I'm going to come back for a season or two at the end of my career or whatever."
Right.
But it was a nice move by United to do that. Let's move on to USL talk, because you want to talk about there was a lawsuit between USL and
UPSL.
UPSL. Yeah.
So it's interesting because you don't see these a lot. Mm-hmm. So it's a trademark dispute. United Soccer League sued United Premier Soccer League is what UPSL stands for. Claiming that it was a trademark infringement, and then also that they were claiming that they were better than USL.
What?
So
that was part of the lawsuit? They were better?
So it actually makes sense. The argument, first of all, is, well, United Premier Soccer League and United Soccer League, they're pretty similar.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
United Soccer League's been around longer.
Yes.
So the fact that UPSL made their name the way it is infringing on USL's trademark. That argument, holds weight. But then the argument of they added that they're the same colors.
What?
So it's red, white, and blue, which doesn't work too well because basically all U.S. leagues are red, white, and blue. In fact, I'm pretty sure all U.S. leagues are red, white, and blue.
So UPSL took red, white, and blue as well?
Yeah. But so is MLS. So is NASL.
Yeah.
So is NFL, NBA. The argument is that they want you to take it as a whole. So it's like, well, so their name's similar.
Yes.
Their colors are similar. Mm-hmm. So as a whole, it makes sense. Mm. And then the final point is that they claim to be better. So the word premier is what the issue is. So USL says, look, we're obviously better than UPSL. Mm-hmm. We've been around for a decade, more than that, I think.
Yep.
We are the second division, the only second division in U.S. soccer.
And
UPSL is fourth division.
Yeah.
We have TV deal with ESPN. Mm-hmm. We're obviously better than them.
Yep.
So the argument is that not only are they taking our name, they're adding Premier to it to basically mislead people to think that they're better.
They're Premier, yes.
So that's the whole claim. Mm-hmm. So I try to think of an example of what that would be. And it would be kind of like Burger King, and then a burger joint starts up and goes national, and they're called Better Burger King. I couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah.
And so it's like the name Burger King is trademarked if it's done properly. Mm-hmm. So there'd be that questionable, link there.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're trying to mislead people by saying that their burgers are better than Burger King's, that would be the case. It's an interesting one. IP lawsuits are pretty hard to win. At the same time, this one I think has some pretty good clout to it.
Yeah, it does.
Just being how similar everything is.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's kind of sparked a debate about, so is USL doing this because they actually think it's a trademark dispute? Or is USL doing this because UPSL is so big? Like, as far as their scope of their league goes, they have 10 times more teams.
Number of teams, yeah.
But they're obviously amateur.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It sparks the debate of, well, USSF is kind of sketchy. Mm-hmm. They favor certain leagues over others. Mm-hmm. Is USL getting preferential treatment and a little scared of the grassroots? Mm-hmm. It's intriguing. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
But I think we have, broader picture here, I think we have a bigger problem on the lower leagues of soccer in the United States.